Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Salute.
Salute, champ. What's
What's
happening
going
with you?
on?
I'm good, brother. How you?
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good, you know.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Hey, first and foremost, guys and dolls, ladies and gentlemen, goons and goonettes, man. Everybody watching, you got the legendary. I have the legendary Billy Danze from M.O.P. Mash Out Posse. First of all, firing squad, y'all better salute him, man. I need to see the salutes in the motherfucking building right now. Salute, 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 salute.
Salute, y'all.
Let's go, let's go. How you feeling, man? How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm just I'm enjoying the space I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying
Yeah.
everything that I'm getting from the business, from past, present, and what's to come. So you know what I mean? I'm in a real good space. Like it's no stress to get this thing
Nope.
done for me now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm enjoying it. I
Yeah.
appreciate all the love and support, brother.
Oh, definitely, definitely, man. If you're just joining us, guys, I'm your host, LS. This is Hip Hop Radio. What we do here is we salute everyone who is a part of this culture that we built, us as a black people, but also everyone else who had a hand in building this thing of ours. And right now we saluting one of the major figures who built bricks in this house we call hip hop, man. And I definitely want to tell you one thing before we start this off. When I was a kid and I was listening to your music, I'm in high school, and the first time I ever heard your music, you in Fame, and I watched the video. The first one I saw was How About Some Hardcore, and I'm gonna tell you right now, when I saw the video, I said, these are the actual dudes. These are the actual dudes. Scared the crap out of me, okay? One thing for sure, you know the difference when you've seen it. You know the difference between who's just putting it on wax and performing and who actually has the heart and it's coming from the soul and the spirit. You know what I mean? And that's what made me scared to death of y'all. I got a lot of stories of just, going out and being able to go out and watch you guys perform and things of that nature. But we'll get into that later, right? But I was like, damn, especially when y'all had the braids and it was the Mash Out Posse. Woo!
Yeah, those were those times, just really just coming right off the stoop or right off the block, getting into something different, this music industry. So all we had to offer was ourselves and what we knew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's the environment that we came up in. So now I'm totally different. I'm a totally different person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a full grown man, and I got a full grown man mentality. Not just by age, just it's my mind that got me. You know what I'm saying? That helped me elevate and get beyond what you may have been afraid of, or a lot of the industry people may have been afraid of. But I'm actually a good guy, man. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no trouble. I don't want nobody hurt. I want everybody to go home safe because I understand what it means to be in those bad situations. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want none of that. We don't want no issues. We just want to have a good time and make it home, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Today is all about employed, right? But I definitely want to get into just to touch on some of the early days, right? And then we're gonna bring it up to speed, right? So the early days living in Brownsville, of course, everybody knows the stories. It was definitely a tough place to live in, right? But coming up as a child, what was it that you aspired to be, as a youngster? Like we all had, some people wanted to be firemen, some people wanted to be policemen and things of that nature. And then just the environment changed them, right? It changed their circumstance. But with you, what was it, something that you said, you know what, this is what I want to be at an early age?
I wanted to be alive, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and just, not jokingly, but seriously, like the
Yeah.
amount of violence that was going on in my day of growing up, it was tough. So I wanted to be alive, right? As a
Mm-hmm.
career, for my career, I first wanted to be a basketball player because I thought I was nice. Then I hurt myself, so that went out the window.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to box, and I'm pretty good at boxing. And they put me in the ring with somebody that was a little bit better than me, but a little bigger too, right? And when he punched me in the face, I realized I don't want to be boxing no more.
You want to be a
You
boxer no more.
know? So it was more about sports. Nothing really else. Like I didn't. So we didn't get drawn in by the policeman or the fireman or the doctor. We couldn't see that far, you know what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
of all the trouble that was in our neighborhood. So really we were kind of influenced by the negative and the negative people, the guys with the cars and the jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Because it was temptation, right? We want
Yeah.
what they have and the people and everybody that's attracted to them, whether it be the women or the just the neighborhood itself. Like we wanted that because we couldn't see past that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm real thankful for Fame putting me on a record, which is how the M.O.P. Music career started. Fame had already started putting out records, and I was supposed to do a song with him. And we did a song called "How About Some Hardcore," and we decided, because I was going to spend half of his money anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we
That was
decided
family. Yeah.
to just go ahead and just continue to move forward as we were as family. Yeah, but yeah, man, I really wanted to be a ball player or a fighter, and those things didn't pan out. So, like I said, I'm really grateful for Fame for putting me on a record and building this career. It helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to travel around the world 5 times, the world 5 times, coming from Brownsville. That's a major accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good right there, bro. Like people, I look at people how they talk about people with money and artists and actors and celebrities with money and all of that, and who got more of this, who got more of that. And dude, I'm rich because of that. And when I say rich, I'm not even talking about funds. I'm talking about being able to come from Brownsville and travel the world 5 times. I'm in places I can't even pronounce, bro. People love me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm rich, bro.
Yeah.
Word.
Hey, you definitely rich in spirit, and
Yep.
I want to say this, right? Um, One thing's for sure, what you said about, you wanting to be alive, right?
Yep.
And Fame putting you on the song, right? Because he was already doing the records. But I when you said been around the world 5 times and hip hop brought you there, right?
That's right.
That's why I say it's this thing of ours, because it is ours, right?
That's right. That's right.
And and it's definitely a club. When I say that, you just can't pick up a mic and just start rapping and say you into hip hop, right? Because hip hop is
Right.
different,
That's right.
and I know you know that because you've been around the world. You're from New York City, first and foremost.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You're from Brooklyn. We all know. We all know where it came from. But New York is the Mecca, right?
That's right.
And but what I wanted to say is that, God actually, you're a person that God has touched and put his hands on, because you don't know how many people, well, you may get it all the time, but you've touched a lot of people. You got people through a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people can go and all they remember is Annie Up. All they
Hmm.
remember is the big records. How about some
Hmm.
hardcore?
Hmm.
But if you're a real MOP supporter or a fan, you they speak to your spirit, they speak to your soul. You might, it's a lot of stuff that you get in the music, but if you really, really, really pay attention to the content, that a lot of your content speaks from a place of contrite in some of the songs.
Yep.
And I want to say God put his hands on you because I've heard the story of what was taking place when Fame came to get you.
Right.
And that could have landed you somewhere else.
It could have been
And
bad, bro.
we wouldn't even be here right now. You probably wouldn't have did the tour around the world 5 times.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I would
and now
probably,
you're here.
I would probably be starting that tour right about now. That would be
Yeah.
my first run right about now. But yeah, bro, no, it was. I do feel blessed, right? Because so MOP. I mean, as the world know, MOP is like me and Fame, right? But MOP is not a rap group. We just happen to just utilize the name. So we started out with a certain amount of brothers, right? All of them all of them are not here anymore. You know what I mean?
God bless.
God bless, right? Um, so to be able to walk through these, get through these obstacles that we had to get through in life, and
Mm-hmm.
to travel this world. And that's why I said, man, I'm rich, bro. Like I'm filthy
Yeah.
rich. I'm disgustingly rich. You know, to get on the stage, like coming from. So I can remember my very first time getting on the stage. Right, I left the stoop where we're doing our ones and twos and everything, like most kids in urban communities do. Right, left the stoop, went to the show, and got on the stage, nervous, like nervous, bro. Like I've never done this before in my life. I've never been in a school play, anything. I'm more of a stand back kind of guy, so I never was up front with doing anything like that. I got on the stage, I could feel my knees shaking, right? And I
Mm.
could feel like my insides cringing, bro. And when I got on the stage, I remember saying 1, 2, and you don't stop. This is how me and Fame kind of planned it. Yo, when you go out, you just go right here on this beat. You go 1, 2, and I'm like, cool, 1, 2, and you don't stop. But I'm
Right.
still shaking, I'm cringing. But the crowd is going, this is the first time they ever saw me. And I'm like, from there, it just dragged me in. And I still get that nervousness when I get on stage today after all these years. But
Yeah.
once I get that, you know what I mean? It feels
That's when you
amazing,
wake
bro.
up.
That's right. That's right. That's when my body gets relaxed. My knees stop shaking. You know what I'm saying? But this has been a beautiful ride, man, and I wouldn't change it for anything. A lot of ups and downs in this business that I've been through personally, and a lot of other artists have been through and are going to go through. But when you're actually able to focus and see what you can get out of it, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I take my hats off to all the young kids out here today. I mean, even though I think they all sound alike and there's too many of them, but I'm so happy. And we're talking about this thing of ours, right? That started on a New York City street. We got
Yeah.
power from a lamppost, right? So it started from the power from the lamppost, and now it's on cell phone towers around the world, right? People from our walks of life, the same kind of guys that we grew up admiring on the corners, whatever, are now millionaires. You know, these kids are able to take care of their families and all of that off of this thing of ours. So I really don't care. I don't want nobody to take this wrong when I say I don't care what it sounds like, right? What I care more about is that our people have opportunities to get out of bad situations. So this
Yeah.
thing of ours, this is something that really belongs to us, right?
Absolutely.
Basketball, even though we dominated, is still not ours. We got a lot of rich basketball players, multimillionaires, but the owners are billionaires, right? So it's not really ours, it's theirs.
Yeah.
All these tech companies, all of these, these big companies out there that's making all this money. The employees are making money. They're taking care of themselves. Their families are good, but it's not ours. This hip hop, this thing of ours, this is ours. And it was supposed to stretch down south and stretch to LA and go to Detroit and Texas and
Mm-hmm.
all of these places. It was supposed to do that. If it didn't, it would have stopped and our people would still be in bad spots financially. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can look, bro, like all of those big companies, man, collectively, they haven't been able to secure as many homes in the urban community as like hip hop has. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of this thing of ours. I don't care what it sounds like. Any little dude put a record out. If I see some promo on it, I'm buying it. I may not ever listen to it, but I'm buying it. I'm supporting them. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that's what we should do for each other, bro.
absolutely. I mean, well said. And, you know, what's even crazier is when we think of it, we're like, yeah, we're getting a piece from entertainment, but at the end of the day, look what we're doing now. Like back in the day, they used to diss MC Hammer for
Mm-hmm.
being brand ambassadors for Pepsi and doing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's actually the doors that we actually exploring now, only because
Right.
we got the game, we got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's another thing about hip hop. It's all about knowledge as well. You know,
That's
you
right.
got the elements, but the
That's right.
knowledge, that's where we look at that and say, oh, we young, we didn't know. So
Right.
everybody dissed them. We called it selling out. You know, they called it selling out. You know, but now it's not really selling out. It's just providing for your family in a different way. And I'm glad that you said that you're not mad at these guys who are sounding this may sound the
No.
same in this all of this new music, because there's a lot of people who I have conversations who are on this live that I have conversations with, and they don't like it. And I say, you got to understand something. Our parents, or better yet, our older brothers, and
That's right.
they that's not hip hop. What y'all listening to? And
Right.
they pull out the Grandmaster Cass and the
Mm-hmm.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and you know they say this is hip hop. You know, and the thing about it was, what we did was we was loving the music part of it. A lot of us grew up
Yep.
breakdancing. A lot of us grew up doing graffiti. It was just the culture, but we didn't understand that it was the culture that we were immersed in anyway. You know
Yo,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
Let me tell you something, man. I think people are just so shocked with the difference of the sound, right? But the truth is, it gradually happened. Because if you just listen to, say, New York City rap, you know, when it was the biggest thing and it wasn't so many artists in you know, in these
Right.
different states or whatever, it it changed when it changed before. Well, it started gradually changing, and then the older heads caught on to it, the change, after it already changed all the way. Because
Right.
when you know, there was the Ghetto Boys, there was MJG and 8 Ball, there was, so it started kind of, you know, changing like a little bit of a twist, but they still had that hip hop feel. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And right, and now it's just what's supposed to happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
if we don't
exactly.
get no change, how we gonna grow? That's it.
Exactly.
So I
And
make
we
I make music the way I make it because that's how I want to hear it. I don't
right.
take nothing from the young boys out there, and I listen to some of it. Some of it I can actually tolerate. You know what I'm saying? Some of it I want
Yeah.
to hear. Even the stuff that maybe an M.O.P. fan will catch me riding through the neighborhood listening to, and they'll go, what's wrong with you, bro? Nothing's wrong
Yeah.
with me. Like, I actually like this song. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just music, bro. Like I said, man, and I'm gonna make sure I say this, and I want everybody to understand this. Like, for me, it's more about our people being able to grow and being in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on, like, you know, there's people that's the gatekeepers, so to speak, in hip hop music, that they don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even though it's ours, they still got more of a control of it. They still
Yeah.
figure out a way to get everything they need to get out of it. So I'm not mad at, you know, our young brothers that's going out here and making music that blend in with the other music in the club that your old ass can't get with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not
Right.
mad at them because they're figuring out a way to take care of their families, man. One thing
Right.
I'm not so happy about is all the beef that's going on in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I think it's way too much, and it's not even just, you know. It's like, okay, it's beef. Like, before, it used to be let's battle. You know what I'm saying? It was a
Right.
battle. Now it's an actual beef because you know, somebody's saying something on the record, and then somebody's dying over it. You know what I'm saying? I just put a post up today because I stayed in my bed all day just watching news clippings, and it was so many artists being killed. Like, you know, a lot of kids I never even heard of. But it's
Yeah.
like, man, I think, and they going, yo, it's the music. It's not the music. It's the mentality of a young man or young men. You know, they're not understanding the value of life. They're not understanding the regret they're gonna have when they get 35 years old, and most of the dudes that they came up with is no longer there. They're
Oh
either
yeah.
buried or in jail. They're not gonna get it, and when it hit them, it's gonna hit them hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and I mean, we all kind of been through that. Like I said, you know, there's
Absolutely.
members of M.O.P. that if we don't speak about them on record, no one will ever know because they're no longer
Mm,
with us. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I hope we can. I hope something can happen with that, and it's got to happen. It's got to be us, right? It's got to be the young boy that gets dissed on the record with his friends standing around going, "Yo, son, we got to do something." It's gonna take him to go. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go over here and kill this man or shoot up the club or shoot up his house where the culprit, right,
Right.
never even gets hit. His little sister gets hit. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad, and it's like I said, bro. This kind of stuff hits you when you get 35 plus, because in your younger years, when you're sitting around this kind of stuff, it's like normal, which is crazy. It's not normal. It's not normal for us to be excited about somebody got dropped, or for us not to have any kind of emotion when
Yeah.
somebody's murdered. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's a
It's
fact.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. No, but you know, and I'm glad that you put that out there, because a lot of people need to hear it from, you know, an elder statesman. You know, and I could call you that because you got years in this game. You know what I'm saying? And you still spitting better than half of these young dudes, I must say. I got it. Yo, listen, let me tell you, a friend of mine who is incredible lyricist, right?
Mm,
He hit me up today and he said, not jumping off of what you just said, but just to add on, right?
right.
He hit me up and he said, yo, you got Billy Danze on? I said, yes. He said, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's definitely in one of my top 10. And I said, he didn't, and he put it so modestly. He said he's definitely in one of my top 10. He said, but his new projects, he's talking crazy on them, and he's just elevating and elevating. And this is a guy who I patterned my style when I was younger off of, because he was so intelligent. And he,
Right,
you know what I'm saying, his vocabulary was vast, but he was a
right,
real dude, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
And I admired how he carried himself. And for him to say that, because you know his favorite rapper, his number one is Guru. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, God
His
bless.
number one
Yeah.
is Guru. Yeah, you can't talk nothing about Guru with Guru's, God bless him. But when Guru was alive, you could not say nothing about Guru. Guru was his. If you say Guru's name in a sentence in the barbershop, he's gonna stop everything and say, "What about Guru?" You definitely. But yeah, I'm glad that you said that, so that a lot of people who are in here and who are going to see this, they're going to actually hear it coming from your mouth, but from someone who's seen a lot and been around the world
Yeah.
5 times. I mean, get some stamps in your passport, people. You know what I'm saying? You can't mess with Big Billy. You know what I'm saying? For real. I heard Rocknet say that, but I think you got him beat. You heard? Um, but yeah, we about to get into this single real quick, but I got a couple more questions. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm glad that you're being transparent with me right now, because I'm learning as we're doing this interview. But going back real quick to the death, right? Um, doing that album, when you were doing that album, when you Fame were doing the album, and you guys were structuring it with Lays and everything, and everybody who was a part of it, what was the mind state of what you were doing about the project, just about the project period? What was your guys' mind state, or yours, I would say?
You know what? My head was more on still being shocked, right? That I'm doing something other than what I did for the bulk of my life at that time, for for a long period of time. So, and yeah, I'm be honest, I was drowned in Hennessy. So, all I was like, I just want to rap and feel the music. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
was more about the project was called To the Death because um, we had already made a vow that we are going to look after each other until we can't no more, until there's no breath in us. So to take this next step out of the, away from the danger that we were facing every day, my head was just like, man, I can't believe that we're doing this. So we're going to talk about everything that we need to talk about because we're we speak for that part of society that people try to forget about, right?
Yes.
So we're going to talk about, even though I'm talking to you about Brownsville and on this album, it's the same terrain everywhere you go, whether you're in South Jamaica, Queens, whether you're in Michigan, Detroit, Grand Rapids, whether you're in, Compton, Watts, it's the same terrain. So those are the people that I was speaking for. Um, I'm saying that to say people go, man, people just go, man, they always screaming, they so loud. Not screaming, man. I'm just projecting because I got to speak to the entire world on behalf of people that everybody trying to forget about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was
Right.
more there, like they gonna feel what we give them because this is about us, our kind of people, the people that, people that's unheard, people that don't have voices. Um,
Yeah.
and then there was that other fact that I was just drowned in Hennessy, right? So I was just having a good time.
Right. Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was just having a good time, but it was a life changing thing, man. But because here's another part of that story, right? When we first started,
Yeah.
when we did the How About Some Hardcore was my very first record, not just my very first record, but the first time I've ever been in the studio and would
Wow.
have the record wasn't even done, the song wasn't even done. We got a
Mm,
deal. We got a deal with an unfinished record.
that's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, and the other side of the story. I was actually in the middle of handling something that I shouldn't have been involved in when Fame
Respect.
walked up on me to ask me to do this record. um, so again, back to the blessings, right? Like I've been touched, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it was a lot in my head, like getting this record done. It was like, man, like I'm literally in the middle of putting my life and my freedom on the line. My boy walks up on me and go, yo, I need you to come and do this. Remember I asked you to do it? Yeah. Just act, I'm like, yeah, just tell me when. He like, now. I'm like, wait, now? Like right now? He like, right now. I'm like, damn. So I decided to go with him and that changed my life. A week later I had a deal. So
Wow.
as I'm making a record, I'm still stuck on the fact that I probably wouldn't even been here had I did what I was planning on doing. So really, I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was just like riding on the cloud, bro. Like this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. But like I said, I'm always gonna be grateful for Fame and Lays and my whole team, Fox and Flip, Tef. You know,
Salute to Tef. He's in here
yes.
too.
Oh man, he and Tef just dropped a joint
Incredible
today.
news.
That's crazy,
Wait, I
crazy.
can't wait.
It's called The Cross. He just dropped it today. Make sure y'all go
Woo!
and check that out. It's called The Cross. Um, Produced by my homegirl Jazzy Moto, who also did some M.O.P. joints, some joints for Billy Dance, all of that. It's called The Cross. Make sure y'all go check that out.
No
ASAP.
question.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere, y'all. Definitely. Um, but yeah, man, that's crazy. Just being in that's like a kind of a euphoria, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Where you just like, yeah, the Hennessy was, you was drinking the Henny, and you were there, but it's mind blowing when you think about like, yo, this is really, really happening. Um, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
crazy. And then a
yeah.
week later, you get a record deal. Now
With a
now you
half
got a
done
record deal,
record. With a half done
but
record.
half done record. So I will say this. This is a moment where he sent a lot of us back to the shoe shine kit, all right? Because at the end of the day, you know what? What he did was they had a half done record. And if it wasn't for their voices and their pain and their diction on that record and them being just 100% solid, they wouldn't have had a record deal. And
That's right.
that's what I want people to understand is like that's a half done record and they got a record deal off of that. That's unheard of first and foremost because
Well,
sonically it gotta hit somebody,
right.
you know?
And also too, let's remember, like, I want to take all the credit, right? I want us to take all the credit, but the truth is, I mean, we get some of the credit, but also there's another side to it where the record company execs, the A&Rs, the people that own the companies and all of that, like back then they had passion. They had
Yeah,
passion, right?
yeah,
Like they would hear somebody in a train station and give them a record deal. Not just because it was about the record deal, but because they heard what was in the, they heard the words, but they felt what was
yeah,
in there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So that made it a little more easier as well. And then there was my man Silver D, who was, him and Lays was cool. Um, Lays is a great, he knows how to maneuver and make things happen. Um, so the combination of what we did as far as with the half done record, Lays being able to maneuver, being tied to Silver D, who was actually with the company, and then Mr. Fred McNeil. Thank God for Mr. Fred McNeil for giving us that first deal. I really appreciate that, man. He
Select
helped change my
records, no
life.
doubt.
The passion that he had for music all worked together, and it was perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? Perfect timing. Yeah, man.
Perfect timing, man. It couldn't have
Yeah,
came no better.
that's right.
So let's first time out of New York City,
Mm.
and y'all going on tour. What was that like? Because you mentioned earlier, you said that there's a terrain similar to Brownsville everywhere. So when you actually got a chance to witness that firsthand for the first time, what was it like for you? Like you know what I'm saying? What was it like? A shock? Like word? It's happening over here like this, or were you already in tune and you just saw it firsthand?
You're never really in tune, right? Because as a kid, you think your neighborhood is the toughest neighborhood on the planet. There's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere tougher than where you live. Um, and then you got a little bit of ignorance, right? So when you go somewhere, like if you go to Chicago, you see the wildness there as a kid. You're more excited about it. Like, oh, this is dope. So it's that ignorance, right? Um, and then you still got that, poke your chest out kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um, Realistically, we never really had big problems anywhere we went because we blended in. Because it was, I'm
yeah.
gonna say it, it's our kind of niggas everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
That,
So we
that,
blended in. So never really shocked about it. Just like I said, with the ignorance of being a young boy, just going, "Oh, this is dope." Now that I think about it, it was actually sad. It's like these fucked up conditions, this fucked up terrain all around this country for our people.
yeah,
But I realized, like, I really realized, like, everywhere you go is the same. You know what I'm saying? And you also think too, as a kid, like in Brooklyn, as a kid, not just Brooklyn, everywhere you go, like, but really in Brooklyn, as far as I know, my own personal shit. Like, dude, I've never been on family vacations. The only time you really leave your neighborhood, when you're a lot of times when you're in those kind of environments, you only leave your neighborhood when you're on the run. You know what I'm saying?
that's a fact.
Like you don't
That's
really
a fact.
you don't really just be like going on
Yeah,
vacations and shit like that.
yeah,
So you never really see these other parts. I can remember one time because I'm a weirdo, right? And Temp's in here, he'll tell you, right? Like we'll be on tour and I'll just not want to be on the tour bus, so I'll just either take a taxi from one city to the next or one state to the next, or I'll take the bus, right?
Wow.
I'll take a literally just get on a Greyhound bus and just go to the next state, whatever state that is. And I remember one time I was on the Greyhound, I forget where we was going, but I got off the bus and I was in Baltimore. And if anybody knows Baltimore, the Baltimore Greyhound bus station is the ruggedest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
I
sir.
was
Yes.
like, yo, way before the wire, right? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I said, I don't think I want nothing out of that vending machine that bad. Let me get my ass back on the bus.
Word. Hey, that one in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Those
Yep.
two. Oh
Yep.
my God.
Oh my God. It's like, I was like, Jesus. So, just going to these other places and seeing how things are, I wasn't really shocked.
Yeah.
Um, and you're out of place just for a minute because it's not home. So it's
Yeah.
so many different faces that you don't know. But there's a little rah-rah that's wild as hell everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So when you see little
Yeah.
rah-rah, you kind of wake up like, wait, hold on.
Hold on,
Hold
hold
on.
on, hold on. Let me
Hold on.
analyze the
Let me
situation.
pull myself together here.
Yes. Definitely. Nah, me traveling, doing a little bit of traveling, trying to get in the game with my team. We've encountered a lot of stuff where we had to show and prove because we were spitting certain lyrics, and when you go out of town and nobody knows you, they're gonna test you,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's a serious situation, and we had to learn, like, okay, I'm tired of fighting every night. I'm tired of fighting. We last week was a close call. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's
Hmm.
like, yo, we gotta chill. We gotta chill, and it kind of made us, perfect our craft a little bit better to come up with
Hmm.
different material. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it's like, yo, we really here to get the girls, and the guys knew that.
Right.
But yeah,
That was a problem too, though.
oh, that was definitely a problem.
Right. 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 But you know what, bro?
Especially,
The music shouldn't. It's just entertainment, right?
it's just
Like
it's
regardless of what
definitely
we think as artists, while we saying what we're saying on these records, no one should take it personal, right? Like, dude, I'm not even talking to you. I'm not
all
mad
about
at you. I'm not even talking about you. I'm just talking about situations I may have been in or I may have seen. What are you so mad for? Because I make these kind of records, why you gotta make sure you come with your gun tonight?
right.
Last week you didn't have your gun. So what do you have to prove? Like, and I put up a post about this a couple of weeks ago. It's like, why are you going so far out of your way to make me look bad or have an issue with me when I don't even know you
Mm-hmm.
personally, bro? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's people that enjoy street music. So
Yeah,
nobody can't make street music because when I come to your town, you're gonna try to get at me. So the people in your
I
town
get
can't
it.
enjoy street music. Like,
But you know what I noticed though? A lot of those guys, they do that to impress you. That's another thing.
I do too. Yeah, yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that too.
Yeah. They like, oh, we tried to get at them dudes, and they some real dudes because they didn't back down, and you know what I'm saying? And they really fans. They just want to go. They want to go back to the neighborhood or whoever wasn't there and say, yo, you know what I'm saying? They either want to say they got one up on you or they did. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Because
right.
they really fanned out. That's what it is.
But that problem, see, I'm sorry, bro, but see, that's the
No, go
problem,
ahead.
right? Like when you go out your way to try to punk somebody, right? See, so everybody ain't a sucker, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So when you go out your way to try to punk somebody, this man ain't did nothing to you. First of all, when you start a beef for no reason, you could be hard, right? A hard dude, but you can't even fight that hard because you know you're in the wrong, right?
yeah, yeah.
This why the bully always get his ass whooped by
Always.
somebody, you know what I'm saying, by somebody's bullying. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
can't go that hard, bro, because you know you in the wrong. So it's just unnecessary beef always. end up bad. And I don't know if people really realize this or not, but killers really don't beef with killers because they understand the
At all.
consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like they
At
understand
all.
it's like it's the best thing to do is to try to smooth this out because
Mm-hmm.
somebody gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
it's right. So stop. You got cats. Stop going out your way to try to harm somebody or try to front on somebody because everybody ain't no sucker. And when you get your ass handed to you, now you feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Now it's going to escalate to more. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
don't stop.
wake up. Exactly. Wake up, y'all.
That's a fact. So now I just wanted to touch on this really quick because and shout out to Jay-Z, right? You know, with the Rockefeller thing, right? But I remember when 105, yeah, it was 105. Was it Power 105? Pardon me. When
Okay.
they first came out, and they were just having DJs just coming in there and playing records, right? Heard this one record, and you know what I'm talking about by Jay-Z. You don't know.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I almost fell off the ladder because I was in there. I was putting up some blinds, not because I thought it was dope, but I almost fell off the ladder because I was like, first of all, Jay-Z was one of my favorite rappers, loved him, but I was so upset because I said, why? This is M.O.P.'s record first. I'm like, why? Because I understood at that time. You know what I'm saying? What
Right.
not what was going on behind the scenes. Like, you know, that was a big up. But
Right.
at the end of the day, I didn't like it because I'm like, yo, these guys have been doing this for so long and they dope. They dope. And this should not be you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking the audience is going to try to overshadow what you guys have already done.
Right.
Can you speak on that record? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you don't know record. Again, just around the time when I'm drowning Hennessy, right? So I was just doing shit. It was, Just Blaze did the beat. I think the beat was fucking amazing. Jay asked us to be on the remix. Now this is after we did Four Long Blaze, all these other records together. He asked us to be on the remix. I thought it was perfect, and I think it was because we were now, and it was a perfect kind of I guess in his eyes, like a perfect kind of layup or to introduce that we were now kind of teaming up together and rocking with Rockefeller.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. I happen to actually like the record, so me and you got difference of opinions there. uh, so anytime you give me some horns, some blaring horns, well, it's amp
Yeah.
me up. How about some hardcore, anything like that? Like I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So and shout out to
Right.
Jay for putting us on that record. Big record. We actually do this record when we perform. The crowd goes nuts when you hear the beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like I said, Jay just called us and like, yo, I need y'all to get on this record. Like, I need y'all to get on this record. So we
Yeah.
jumped on the record, and I mean, right now we're having a conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
this is happening in different parts of the world right now. You know what I'm saying? People still
Right.
talking to me about this record. So shout out to Jay for
Shout
the
out to
alley oop.
Jay. And you know, when you guys joined forces and you guys became a part of the family, you know, I was happy, but also in just me being me, I'm like, I think that M.O.P. should stay M.O.P. as Wu-Tang should stay Wu-Tang, as Boot Camp should stay Boot Camp. You know what I'm saying? But as I look at what it was doing, is it was actually bringing a different audience that may not have known about M.O.P. Even though M.O.P. is worldwide. You guys tour the world,
Right.
but we're talking about in the United States, so to speak, right?
Right.
Bringing more attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the G Unit thing, the same thing. You know, I was just like, you know, my thing was, well, they're doing business with these guys or
Right.
whatever the case may be, but they're still M.O.P. You know, and
Exactly, bro.
they're still
Exactly.
M.O.P. you know, and my thing is, and you know, that might have been my ignorance, but I just was like, you know, it might have been my ignorance, like, yo, you know, they don't need to stand next to these guys
Right,
because
but
they are who they are.
right, but it was really just about business and moving, right? It wasn't
Yeah,
like I had a Rockefeller chain, nice
yeah,
chain, right? I had it, but I also had an MOP chain, which I wore the MOP chain all the time.
all
I
the
would wear
time.
the Rockefeller chain every now and again because I am MOP. So it's just like you said, like you feel like MOP should stay MOP. When have we not been MOP? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't even remember saying I never said Rockefeller in a record. Not to be
Never heard it.
disrespectful. I never said I don't fuck with him, but
Right.
Rockefeller was Rockefeller. Now,
Yeah.
another thing you got to understand was I remember when, and I like to say it like this, when the rock was a pebble, right? So they used to
Yeah.
come to the studio. They used to come to our studio sessions every day, Jay and Dane. Like before they had a staff, before there was a beanie, before the world knew about state property or Memphis Bleak or anything like that. When they were first building Rockefeller, so it was something they always tried to get us involved to come be a part of what they were building. Anyway, so later on down the pipe, we just happened to start doing business together. But we're always going to be MOP. We're MOP before the music. We're
For the
MOP
music.
during the music, and you know, if we decide to stop, we're still going to be MOP. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
I promise you that, bro.
Oh, hey, listen, I already know, you know, but you know, I gotta set it up that way for the people who
That's
may
right.
be watching,
That's right.
because at the end of the day, I know, you know, I've been doing my homework for years as far as like the backstories of you guys, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing a lot about who I buy into, because I don't really always buy into the music. I buy into the people. You know, that's
Right.
just me. You know, but at the same time, you know, it's almost a little selfish of me to be like, well, you know, I think they should just stay where they at, or whatever the case may be, you know, instead of, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I get it, it's business. It's just
No.
like going to any other record label.
Right.
It's just,
Exactly. Exactly, bro. But let me tell you this. Um, so people thought we were doing business with G Unit in 2005, which we were just touring with them, and we started doing business with them in 2006. But on the stage, somebody announced us in London, and they was like, you know, coming to the stage, whatever, and they mentioned how we were now doing business with G Unit, and the fucking
mm,
crowd goes, boo! I said, "Oh shit!" So me, because I'm not a hothead. I'm just quick when I should be quick. When I feel like somebody's being way too disrespectful. So I came out
yeah.
and let the whole crowd have it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
wow.
again, it's just more about like if you my fan, don't stop me from growing. Do you not want me to grow? You know what
That's
I'm
a
saying? How,
fact.
how you a fan if you want me to stay in one place where I'm not growing? It doesn't make sense. So whether it's G Unit, Rockefeller, Sony, um, you know, EMI, wherever I'm at, you should be rooting for me and riding with me because I'm still giving you what it is that you need me to provide. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when I did records on G Unit, even though the album didn't come out, but it didn't sound like I was trying to do what Banks was doing or what Yayo was doing or what 50 was doing. Like we were doing what MOP normally does. So it shouldn't
Yeah.
even matter where we are. It could be turkey and cheese records. Nigga, you still gonna get that MOP, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right. 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 Nah, I get it. I definitely get it. Okay, one more question before we get into this. Until we get into employed, right?
Okay.
So the listening session
Um,
and the re-listening session. So
mhm.
let me just set this up real quick. But I play your record. I'm on a treadmill. I play the listening session. Boom. All right. Months down the road, I come up and I'm hearing the listening session. So I'm like, oh, he got this, he got some shit. And I realized that it's all new beats, it's the same lyrics, but the project is entirely different. You guys gotta understand. Y'all gotta go listen to it, man. The project is entirely different. You just added a couple of songs on it, right?
Yep, added 4 new songs. Yep.
Okay, 4 new songs. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying, y'all. Like listening is crazy. It's like, damn, that's genius, because I don't know nobody who's ever done that before, really. You know what I'm saying? And if they do it, it was like a house DJ did some
Yeah.
shit like that, you know,
Yeah.
or EDM or some shit like that. But it was never like really hip hop, where a hip hop person took his whole album, his whole project, and then redid it and made you love it again the same way that you love the first one.
Yeah, it was never done by the artists themselves, right? So my plan was so let's go to the the listening session. The listening session was fueled by someone who was trolling me online, right? He said I couldn't rap, I was always whack, never had bars.
What?
Never, he said I never had bars, right? So I said, okay. I just used his negative and turned it into a positive, and just use it as fuel to create the listening session, because I really created the record for him. And I'm saying him, I don't know if it was a male, female, older,
whoever it
younger.
was.
I don't know who it was. It was just these comments he kept coming at me with online. So, okay, I did the listening session. It was really about listening. I needed you to listen to every word I had to say. So then I wanted to change the feel, but I said, you know what? I'm going to do the re-listening session, which was designed to help you understand that whatever I do, I'm basically Picasso. I can paint a masterpiece on any canvas, right? And that's me being cocky, talking shit right now. but
You're supposed to. You're supposed to.
But so I didn't change one word. I didn't redo no verses or anything. I redid. I changed one hook. That's the Men of Honor joint with me and Cole Mega, right? I just changed the hook on that, and then I added four new songs. But the feeling of the beats give you, it feels like a whole entire new record, which is what I wanted you to do. I needed you to re-listen for this extra feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, that's genius, man. That's genius. And just the thought behind it, like, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna show you. First of all, for anybody to call you whack and you never had lyrics, must not have ever heard Baker's Dozen. They must not have never heard that. All right. Let's just say that for, you know, let's say that, because they didn't hear that. If they didn't hear that, if they heard that, they would never say that.
You know what, bro? That's exactly around the time when it happened. So before I put out Baker's Dozen, I put out the 6-pack.
Yeah, the 6-pack. Right.
So a year before that, I was in a rut, bro. And people don't understand this business. This business, there's ups and downs, you know what I mean, that you go through. And I had a down year. This was 2016. I literally created 4 records that were not amazing or not my best. 4 songs in an entire year. And I'm started saying to myself, now I'm questioning myself, like, how could you call yourself a rapper? You made 4 songs in an entire year, dude. What are you doing? So then the dude started with the trolling, right? And it kind of sent me to a little more of a slump. But I'm on my way to the store to pick up something, and I literally drove right past the store. I get the call like, yo, where you at? I needed to such and such from the store and shit. I'm like, yeah, I ain't come home. What you mean? I literally drove to an airport, bro, because I always keep clothes in the car. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Keep a pack bag in the car. Just grab my bag, went in the airport, and found a flight. I didn't care where it was going. Just so happened to be going to Atlanta. Jumped on a flight, went to Atlanta. Sat there for like 2 days. You know, made some calls, got everything figured out. Lays came down. Yo, what we doing? We need to do some music. Found my man, found the OG Diamond D. Yo, you know where a spot at? He like, yo, it's a spot at such and such and such. So we went in there, and in 2 days, I created the same amount of records that I created in the entire 2016.
Damn.
So now I'm going, oh, I'm feeling good. Get on another plane, fly to Texas. I don't know nobody in Texas, but if we can find somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's the studio?
Right.
Find a studio. Get in the studio, create another 4 or 5 records in 3 days. Leave there, fly to Switzerland, create more records. Create some records with my man Jake Beats. Jake did he did the Year joint and another joint. Oh, Light It Up. Right, so I'm rolling, bro. Flew from Switzerland, went to Sweden, left Sweden, went to Germany, left Germany, flew to fucking Philly, just going, right? Left Philly, drove to New York, stayed there for a month, and just created. Now I created all of these records. Like I created like 40 records in like a month and a half, right? No, I'm not even bullshitting you. 40 records, and then I go, I need to put something out. Let's do something called the 6-pack. I created 6 new records for the 6-pack, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And dude, I just kept creating. So I needed that push.
Yeah.
So the 6-pack, and then there was the Baker's Dozen, and then the listening session, then the re-listening session, and then now I'm geared up to put out the next piece. Not going to talk too much about it, but I just got it done. Tef won't lie. He know what's up. I just sent it to him, got his approval, sent it to Premier, sent it to Fame, sent it to Lays. Fox got it last night. So I got everybody's approval on this. Artwork's done. We're just putting the sequence together right now. So we ready. We ready, champ.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it myself. And one thing, I hope this guy or this girl, whoever it is, sees this. I hope they're alive to see this, right? Because listen, first of all, you just defecated on their whole celebration by talking about, I took a flight. I just decided to take a flight here, get myself together, find a situation, record records. Then I'm going to Sweden, Switzerland, Germany. You know what I'm saying? Coming back to the States. Like, who can do that just at the snap of a finger? But you have to be somebody who has laid foundation for himself. That's why he says he's rich. You
That's
understand
right.
what I'm saying?
I'm loaded, baby.
He's loaded. And because you can't be regular. He said it regular. And I'm sitting here and I'm getting excited like, damn, that's where we went. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, he's talking about places that some of you people will never see in life. And he wasn't flossing. He was just telling his story, his life. So but I would say this to people, man, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier. You don't have to disrespect. You don't have to prove that you're tough. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody but yourself.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, he just showed you something that is his life. Yep. That he can do at his leisure. Unless he's working and he has an obligation to fulfill. But he could do at his leisure and still create revenue for himself. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, you can't beat. So, I salute you for that. That's first and foremost.
Thank you,
because it was really casual that you said it, but that right there to the average person ain't normal. Definitely a superhero. So, now let's get into Employed, man. This joint right here that we played earlier. Just tell me, just first of all, why the title and what's the premise of everything besides you guys listening to the record? Because I know some of you probably haven't heard it, but I want y'all to hear it from his mouth to you guys' ears.
Well, The record is, it's motivation, right? If you don't have at least one hater, you're probably not doing what you need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Word.
and I vow, right, from the person that was trolling me online or anybody that's in my DM or shooting weird texts or weird emails, like I vow to keep you haters employed. If your job is to hate, I'm going to keep you employed. You know what I mean? So trust
Yes.
me, you can count on me to keep you employed. You know what I'm saying? Um, so really, the song is really about. It's really for those who do anything to try to knock you down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to keep fighting. You can't give up because the odds are against you. The odds are against most of us. You know what I'm saying? At one
So,
time or another. I mean, people where we come from, the odds are against us our whole lives. But then there's other people that have it a little bit better, but every now and again, the odds are against them. So when the odds are against you, do you fold? Nah, you got to keep going.
now you got to
So,
keep going.
right. So really, this record is powered by the hater and designed for the hater. Like, I'm going to keep you employed. You know what I'm saying? If that's your job, you can count on me.
That's right. That's right. I like that. If that's your job, you can count on me because I'm going to continue to keep you employed.
That's
And
right.
that's what it is, man. We're going to keep the haters employed
That's
because at
right.
the end of the day, everybody needs work. Whether
That's
you
right.
need to get this work or you need to get to work.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. Right. That's right, bro. That's right, man.
Definitely, definitely, man. Hey, first and foremost, man, it was a pleasure, just having this conversation with you. I don't really equate it as an interview. I equate it as a conversation.
Right.
I've crossed paths with you a couple of times in life. UN fame, right?
Mm-hmm.
My most memorable time was in D&D Studios. We was cutting a record. I think it was the first one, the one with the graffiti, where when you
Mm-hmm.
walk in the table, like you walk into the room, the couch is here facing
Mm-hmm.
the pool table,
The original
and
spot, yeah.
the original spot. A lot of people don't know about that spot, bro.
Right. Right. Right.
You had it, so I was definitely around. And you know what? One thing's for sure, I was like, damn, it was everybody in there that night. I don't know. I seen some members of Gangstar in there.
Mm-hmm.
I seen Guru. I saw you. I saw God bless Guru. I also saw what's my man's name? He was actually playing pool. Jazzo. He
Jazzo,
was
yeah.
playing pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy story is my manager at the time, his girl was light skinned and she had like, this semi long hair or whatever. So we coming in and he sees a light skinned girl, one of my peoples, he sees a light skinned girl sitting on the couch. So he goes and sits on the couch. It was Jazz O's girl. He goes and
Ah.
sits on the couch and he puts his arm around her like, yo, what's up, Nalo? And she like pushed him and mushed him and pushed him. Yo, it was the funniest thing ever. I said, oh my God, right? So he's embarrassed, right? But I know he's embarrassed. So we go to the back, right? And I knew it was Jazzo's girl, right? But I wanted to fuck with him. So we go into one of the back rooms, and it's like it was all red room. It was one of the smaller rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and we get ready to perform in there, right? And Fizzy comes to the door. So he comes in, he looks in, he goes, he knocks on the door. So we open it up. Somebody open it up, and he's looking in. He's like, he asked, "Yo, is so and so in here?" We like, nah, nobody in here. So nobody in here by that name. So I get up and I go shake his hand real quick, like, "What's up, man? You know what I mean? I know
Right.
who you are."
Right.
And then he goes, "All right, cool." So, he introduced himself. I'm like, I know who you are, because he said Fizzy, right, at the time. I'm like, I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no idea. You go in my old room, your posters come from. You know what I'm saying? But I should have said that to him, like, yo, I had the posters on the wall, but I didn't say it then. So he dipped off, right? So I said to my man, I said, you see, that was Billy Dan's girl.
Oh shit.
That was one of they girls, right? Fucking with him. He said, so he was like, nah. But I knew it was Jazzo. I said, he sent fame over here. That's what I was talking to him about, right? Son was scared to death. So we in there for hours, right? Doing our thing. He never came out to mingle or watch nothing, right?
Right.
He waited till we left. So then, like, I would say about 2 hours, two or 3 hours went by. He sits next to me. He goes, yo, you really think that's one of they girls? I had to tell him, nah, that's Jazzo's girl, man. I've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was like, I saw the weight lift off his chest because you guys had a reputation back then. You feel me? That shit was crazy.
We were good dudes, man. As long as nobody wasn't violating, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, though, like we may have went a little too far at certain times, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's
it might
just a
have been
young
warranted.
mentality.
It might have been warranted.
That's young boy mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you got to prove a point. But shout out to your bro. Shout out to my man Jazzo and the young lady who almost created an issue that you instigated and shit. Like,
I instigated that like a motherfucker, yo. I'm like one of those guys. I'm the guy that's gonna laugh. I'm the guy that's gonna make jokes. I'm also gonna be the first to get busy because I'm only 5'8", right?
Right. Let's go right now. Let's go right now.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time because you gotta understand. I've been short my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So if I see somebody big, I'm like, he been big since the 2nd grade. Nobody expected him. You feel me? So you know what I mean? Like, and I can fight. So you know, it is what it is.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I never was the guy who tried to be the toughest.
Right.
And that's the reason why real men, and I say this, real men respect me because I've always been me. I never tried to impress nobody.
That's
you know, I
can
smile, I can have fun, I can joke because that's what I am. You know, and my father and my mother taught me how. Well, really, you know, I know my father had it in him, but my mom's instilled. It's 4 of us, so my mother instilled the realness into us. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother's side is the tough side. You know what I'm saying? But
you know, some of the young boys that walk around with these screw faces and they chest poked out, like at some point they're gonna get it too. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna understand, like, there's no need to walk around like this. You know, and then some of them, I make no excuses for them, but some of them just don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just don't know. So when they get to see different things and different caliber of peoples and different walks of life, then they'll understand they don't have to walk around and be so tough. Like, that's a lot, man. It's a lot of stress. You know what I'm saying? Because you start working up situations in your head that ain't even there. Like, my dude over there looking at me, dude, he's literally looking past you trying to find an address. He ain't even thinking about you. What the fuck are you thinking about? But we've all been in those. I mean, a lot of us have been in those kind of, you know, situations. But thank God we're all grown up. We're moving forward. We're enjoying life, and we see a bigger picture now. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I wanted to give you your plants. I don't like to say flowers because flowers die, but I want to definitely salute you and give you your plants, right? And I'll say this, you know, because plants grow, and you know what I'm saying. You water them, you water the seeds, and they grow into a tree, right? I wanted to say this to you. First and foremost, you know, you've been very respectful to me. I really appreciate that. Also, I wanted to say I seen an interview with you, and one thing that really stood out was you said at that time, if you hit me on Instagram, it's not, it doesn't always have to be about business, right?
Right.
Because you're a human being. And that stood out to me because a lot of times, you know, people feel like, well, I don't want to, you know, get at him if I don't have nothing to, you know, you got people that's going to be bold, but you're really talking to the people that actually need it, the people who've who probably grew up off of your music, the people who you've once done business with before, or just met in passing, you know, that the people who may need you at a moment,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
that right there was like for real.
Yeah.
I really appreciated you hear, you know, you saying that,
Right.
because that was like, I admire that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody at your level,
But
you know.
that's me just being myself and being honest, being genuine, right? Like I understand that sometimes people need help, bro. Sometimes people need to just talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? And if
Right.
I can help, like, dude, I'll literally go out my way. Like I've been to schools to talk to kids I don't even know. Like I'll get a hit from their parents online, like somebody's bullying my kid in school or something. Like I've showed up to schools, I've talked to teachers and talked to kids and de-escalated, you know, these kind of
You damn near
situations and
silence.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really like, and it's anything, you never know what somebody's going through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And if I could help you in any kind of way, if you call me, if you text me, if you know, hit me on my DM or something, you want to talk about something. Like I said, man, it ain't always got to be about business. Like, not that you know, I don't stray away from business, but that's not the only reason why. That's not the only avenue that I have here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a
Yeah.
human being. I can tell you about some things. You might have some baby mama drama. You may have some issues with your cousins. You may be ready to
Right.
do something crazy. And I can help you get off the ledge, bro. Because sometimes people snap, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you could really put yourself into a situation just not thinking. And sometimes you need somebody else to think for you. If I'm in a good space, you hit me up. I'm gonna try to think for you. I'm gonna try to help you out, whether I know you or not. By the time we get off the conversation, we're gonna know each other, and you're always able to hit
Well,
me. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't hide from nobody. I don't hide who I am or the ups and downs that I went through in life. And maybe the
yes,
ups and
sir.
downs, something that I've been through that you're going through right now and don't know how to get out of, I can kind of give you some guidance. Like, dude, this is what I did when this happened, whether it was right or
Yeah.
wrong. All right. So if it's something I did wrong, I'm gonna give you the whole story, and you go, well, that didn't end so good. Right now, let's figure out together how to make it end good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
just simple, bro. So I'm always here, man. Anybody want to hit me up. You could DM me. You can email me. All my information is on my IG. And yeah, just hit me up to kick it, man. And
I
also if
appreciate
you
it.
want to do music too, I'm here I'm here for everything, brother.
Hey, listen, he's here for it. So if you want to do music, you want to do some good business with him, please hit him.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But make sure you fire, because you know you'll get overshadowed.
yeah.
Let's not get it twisted.
But
You know what I'm saying?
I'm here for my people, bro, and that's I feel like
Appreciate
that's
that.
kind of my job, right? Like I did everything. I did a lot coming from where I came from, right? I traveled the world. We
Yeah.
talked about that. I made some
Yeah.
money. I took care of what I needed to take care of, but I'm always here to help, and I like it, right? I don't like to talk about it. I like doing it because of the feeling
Come
that
on.
I get. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, man, I just helped the brother out. So I'm always here. Y'all yell at me, man. I'm here for
No
everybody.
doubt. No doubt.
Work.
And one thing I forgot, I also want to applaud your sobriety as well.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro.
Um,
Thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Well, you know, it's not like you know, you was strung out or anything like that. But you don't drink, you don't smoke, and you know
No.
what? The thing about it is, I don't drink and I don't smoke anymore.
Right.
I've done that. I've been there, done that,
Right.
and you know, I'm focused now. I'm
Right.
focused on what I need to do,
Right.
and
Right.
I learned that one thing's for sure, that a lot of the times when I was drinking heavy, and I drank heavy because I do everything to the extreme. But long story short is, when I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, the cloud went away. But I didn't know it. I didn't notice it until I actually took some inventory about me. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I
That's
definitely
right.
want to applaud that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
Thank you,
a
brother.
lot of people who hear that from you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't need it no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It
Right.
might take them away from something, and it might help somebody it might help save somebody's life from
That's right.
hearing it.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
I
Thank you, bro.
appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. To be honest, like I mentioned a couple times when we first started talking, I was drowned in Hennessy, right? Man, I was just, I was just doing it because it was what I was doing, right? I
Yeah.
realized it. I realized I wasn't an alcoholic or anything
Yeah.
because when it was time to stop, I just stopped. Like I decided to stop on a
Oh,
Wednesday,
yeah.
and I never drank again. That's it. It's same with weed. I decided. I think I was coming from San Francisco. I didn't like the way I was feeling because I smoked some of that Cali bud. That thing, ooh, that thing was, ooh,
Chuck that shit for
that thing
real.
like to kill me. So I, I got my ass off the plane and I'm in the limo. You got to see the limo going through the hood, right? The limo is moving slow, but it passed my crib. I said, he about to pull up. I said, keep going. The hospital 2 blocks up. Take my ass into the
Take my ass to the
ER.
hospital. Oh,
Take my ass to
shit.
the ER. So I went to the doctor. He's like, dude, you just had some, you just smoking. You may have had a bad batch or something. You gotta. I said, well, what to do? I'm dying. And that motherfucker said, just stop smoking. I said, all right,
Just
cool, fuck it.
all right.
Never again. You know what I'm saying? Never again. So I realized
Yeah.
I wasn't strung out on anything. I never used any other drugs, anything like that. Just I smoked weed and I drank a shitload of Hennessy, and then I went to Remy, and but I didn't realize it then because I never even thought about it. But after I stopped drinking, I realized I wasn't an alcoholic because I started thinking back, like I never drank alone. It ain't like I went
Mm.
and bought bottles by myself and shit was
Yeah,
drinking
yeah,
in the
by
house.
yourself.
I
Yeah.
just never drank alone. So, but I don't judge nobody. Um, do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Understand there's consequences to everything. Whether smoking too much, drinking too much, whatever it is, like your lungs could only, deal with so much. You know what I mean? Your
It's
liver
so
could only take
much.
so much. But like I said, I'm not trying to spoil anybody's fun, but this is what works for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are. I'm gonna give you your night back. We at the end of the interview. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because I can keep you here all night, but I won't. I won't try. So this is I got. Are you open for 2 questions from the audience, really quick?
I don't think so. It depends on what it is, though.
Okay,
Long
cool.
as it's nothing
So this
too
is what.
personal.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, it'll be on the screen, so you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
But before we do any of that, I want to ask you this question. I ask everyone.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, it's all over everything, and you're sitting back. How do you want to be remembered?
I'm not really caring about the music side of it. I need people to
Period. Like,
understand me. I need people to understand me as a person, right? Like, if you understand me as a person, then you can really enjoy the music. You know what I'm saying? If you understand me as a person, then you can really enjoy the music. So that's it. Like, I want people to understand me, Billy Dance, Cyrus, nigga.
Cyrus. That's right. That's right. That's my name for you from now on. When I say, yo, did you hear Cyrus's shit? They're gonna be like, this new rapper? No, that's Billy Dance, man. Pirate Squad, man. All right, no doubt. Really quick. We just got 2 of them. That's
All right,
cool.
come on, let's do it.
Okay. All right, let's do it real quick, y'all. Okay, so new music is dope. Just have to ask the question, what's your favorite M.O.P. record produced by Premier?
Jesus Christ, why would you ask that? Like my head's going all over the place right now. I'm gonna say it's in between Follow Instructions and one of the Downtown Swingers. How many we put out? We put out 2 Downtown Swingers, right? Or 3. I think
I'm
2.
international.
Yeah.
Celebrate. I like the Primo version.
So no,
Damn.
Primo did every Downtown Swinger.
He did all of them, huh?
He did all of them.
Yeah.
And we have one that we haven't even put out. So yeah. It's something about the way the dude make the beat bounce, man. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. crazy. And Primo just dropped the project too, by the way. Last
Go
night
check
it
that
came
out.
out. It came out last
Ooh.
night. Nuts. It's fire. He got who's on? He got Nas, he got Run the Jewels, he got Remy, he got Rhapsody. Who else he got on there? Slick Rick, Lil Wayne. It's some fire. It's some fire. So make sure you
Okay,
go check
I'm
out
definitely gonna
Premier
check
new
that
joint.
out.
Yep, yep, yep.
Y'all go check that out, but y'all gotta check out Billy Dan's shit first. You heard?
Yeah.
Okay, we got the second one. When you yelled out Brownsville and Brooklyn, he felt that. He said he felt that, bro. You deserve your flowers. Okay, so that was just he was just bigging you up.
Thank you,
Cool,
brother. Appreciate it.
definitely. Well, hey, I appreciate you. You know, I could go on for days, talk about your son's music. You know what I mean? I could go on for days. That's, you know, but I want you to know, anytime you promote anything, man, just have your people send it to me.
Yep.
This is your platform as well as the millions of platforms that you have. But I definitely want to make sure that we are showing you and the rest of the family, because I mean shit, you said Fox name, I'm like, damn, that's really family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
she's still rocking and rolling. Like,
That's
this is
right.
this, y'all are the epitome of what family's supposed to be, and I admire that. But anything that you know, we're gonna continue banging, and we're gonna continue banging your music as well. And you know, we're gonna rock out. So anything you need me to do, man, I'm there, man. You know what I'm
Thank you,
saying?
bro. I
And
appreciate that. And everybody that's tapped in right now, and I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love and support. And make sure y'all go and check out all the new things that's moving. Everything M.O.P., everything First Family. I got the listening session out there, the re-listening session. Go all the way back to the six pack and the baker's dozen. My new joint is on the way. Premier just dropped the joint yesterday. Check that out. Tef just dropped the joint today called The Cross. Check that out. Fizzy Woe is in the studio right now. I think he just finishing finalizing the mixes or whatever for his joint.
salute.
Yeah. Listen, it's an M.O.P. world. Anybody, you're all welcome. You know what I'm saying?
You're welcome.
You're all welcome. Come get it, baby. My brother, thank you, man. I
Man.
appreciate you, champ.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this time, and I'm gonna give you your night back. And we're gonna take them out with this, and we'll see you soon, okay?
My man. Salute.
All right. I'm your host, LS. This is Hip Hop Radio, and this has been another one. Whenever you want to, yeah, let's go. Salute, y'all. Come back for This is Hip Hop Radio, Fire or Trash, right here. We'll be back, y'all. Let's go.